to also go through the ranks as the way I did it as a player. So in this competition, we have a lot of good things. Don't get me wrong. You can see a lot. I've managed to see all the teams, and everyone have his qualities, his strength. You can see today's game. It was very difficult for us. Most people thinking that we're going to meet Benin, and it should be a walk in the park. For me, some of us that were in the game, it wasn't easy at all. You're playing against a team that are very physical, that they wanted to play long balls in behind your team. If you are not careful and you don't find the line well, or you don't drop well, you will be punished. We were very lucky that we saw their game against Ivory Coast, and we all saw the way they held Ivory Coast to last minute. Ivory Coast got the one goal. So that gave us advantage to see what they are bringing on board. The only thing they have is to the goalkeeper playing the ball to one of the center backs, and if there's no pressure on the ball, they launch a long ball in behind the back line. For us, we want our 9 to put pressure on them as soon as possible. And you can see in the first half, we couldn't do that a lot. That's how come they had the opportunity to kick long balls. But in the second half, for me, I think it got much better. Second half too, they came up with a different game plan, which I give thumbs up to their coach. They put up 3 strong guys up front. So you have to push us to change our system into 3-4-3. But off the ball, we drop our full wing backs, making 5 at the back, so that we can keep them silent. And I think it worked perfectly for us.
Vraiment, je suis content pour la qualification d'aujourd'hui parce que moi aussi j'étais un joueur quand j'étais jeune, de U17 aussi. Et vraiment, j'ai remarqué que toutes les équipes ont les qualités. Et nous aussi, on a analysé le jeu de Benin face à la Côte d'Ivoire. Et on a remarqué comment on peut l'attraper ou comment on peut les surmonter. Et aujourd'hui, on a essayé de les surmonter et on a eu la victoire. Et on va dire on est content de ça. Merci.
Thank you very much. Anyone with a question, please raise your hands. Yes, gentleman in wine.
Coach, congratulations to you and to your team. 2 victories, qualification to the last 4. After the first game, one of the things that stuck out from your post-match was that as a technical person, you were not happy with the way your team performed. Were you happy with the way your team performed today?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said earlier on, that the way the Beniners play, it's very difficult to read them. Because you don't actually see exact what they wanted to do, but they wanted to go forward when they have the ball. You can see their center back, they launch the ball. If necessary, they have 3 big, strong guys right in front, kick the ball to them. I like the way my back line dealt with it. Also, beginning we were playing 3 in the middle. The 2 attacking players, they were a little bit high from the beginning, but later parts they drop a little bit so that we can have a lot of options in the middle. So for me, like I said earlier on, I want us to be calm enough. The way we want to play, we want to be calm enough. Sometimes it's very difficult to play. We have 1 or 2 challenges with the way the ball moves on the pitch. It's a bit slow, so it slows the way we wanted to play. But for me, I think we dominated play today. Unlike against Ivory Coast, that in the first 45 minutes, it was 50-50, but in the second half against Ivory Coast, it got much better. I know the way I want my team to play, and I know our team have dominated a lot of opponents most of the opponents that we played. Sometimes opponents comes in the game, but we always want to control the game, and today I think we control the game much better than against Ivory Coast.
La question à coach, c'est qu'après le premier match, il avait dit qu'il n'était pas content de l'estime des joueurs. J'ai dit oui, parce que le premier match, on a mal joué. Mais le match contre les Bénin aujourd'hui, on voit que les Bénin étaient super dans leur stratégie. Ça veut dire qu'ils ont changé leur stratégie de temps en temps. Et nous aussi, on a au moins suivi ça. Mais ce qu'on peut réaliser, c'est qu'on était toujours calme en train de jouer et on a aussi dominé le jeu d'aujourd'hui. Ce qui me fait plaisir d'aujourd'hui.
Yes, that's the one in brown.
All right, coach. One thing I've realized about your team is always in the opening minute, the squad look quite nervous. Against La Cote d'Ivoire, we saw it. They don't gel into the match properly. Against Benin, also they don't gel into it properly. But don't you think facing another opponent who could utilize those chances could be punished?
In the game of football, I think things can happen early minutes, and things can also happen later part in the game. And it's a good observation. For me, I think it's true. You have a very young boys that we developing them. This part of the world, I think we focus more on results. I believe other part of the world, this age group is just development. Any win is just a bonus, or qualifying to a competitive tournament is just a bonus. So for me, we have to develop the boys, give them that confidence. If at this stage, if my player makes mistake, it's part of it. It's part of his growth. So for me, what I believe in as a technical person, they are young, and we have to encourage them to play according to the setting style. That if they go out there, if we're going to compete with teams in Europe and other parts of the world, these are kind of situations that is going to happen. We have to encourage them to be able to have confidence and make mistakes, and they learn from those mistakes. So for me, if we start to tell them to stop doing it, I don't think it's good for their development. And I really agree with you. It's true, you can't be punished, but when you get punished, how can you come back and then come into the game? And that's more challenging to them. They going down and then coming back. We've seen those situations in some of our friendly games. We were down by 1 goal, or maybe 2, I remember. We came back, dominated play, came back and then beat them by 4-2. So for me, I think it's always good for us to encourage these young boys and make sure we guide them well to the top.
For gender balance, lady, please.
I'll give you 2 questions. My first question is, coach, the second goal, there was a 27th pass sequence. 27th pass sequence before Triplo scored that goal. How important are such sequences to you during showing, if you enforce those things, or did you even realize that they did something like that for the second goal? And then the second question is, do you exert more force as a coach than a player? So when you're playing, when you finish the game, do you feel more tired as a coach? Because the instructions and everything you do on the sideline, and then the same kind of energy you put in, like when you're playing.
Thank you very much. The first question was the passes. Yes, for us, watching the way the Beninians play against Ivory Coast, we realized we need to be very patient and then move the ball quickly. And as you can see, we started from the back. They were playing with 1-9. So we made us 2 center back, got close to them as much as we can, and then play close to their opponents. That's how come we provoke them, and then we leave Ayamga, the goal scorer, and then Kadawa in the pocket space, so that center backs can find them in those pockets. When they turn, offensive turn, they are right in front of the opponent box. So you can see that the moment they got there, beginning of the game, we had a lot of moments in the box, but it wasn't clear. One education that we gave them is, don't do anything in the haste. Anything you do, make sure you have full control over yourself before you do that. You can see Ayamga got 1 ball that he had to shoot, but he's not sure of himself. He took a touch and then he played another pass. That was then. Then afterwards, he got that goal in that danger zone, that ball in that danger zone after those passes. That's how come he played. And we don't encourage them to blast shots from 30, 40 yards. We have something that we call XG, expected goals. If someone is standing 40 yards or 30 yards and someone is in the box or the 6-yard box, who have more expected goals, the one in the box? That's what we believe in. That's why we make sure we play passes till we get to the danger zone before we try to score. Like the first goal, for instance, he was very patient. He was waiting for the goalkeeper to make mistakes in the middle of the ball. Yeah, and that's how come we scored a lot of goals. And then the energy part. This is me. People that knows me from my childhood days, I have this energy. You know, as a player too, I always want to win. And I was lucky I have a lot of players around me that have the same character. Someone like Stephen Akwe doesn't like losing. Sule, Asian, we don't like losing. So we all have the same character. If today, those names that I've mentioned, you see them standing on the touchline, they will do well, they will do worse than what I'm doing.
All right, coach. This is your second game. Per your assessment, before this match, you talked about agro football. Do you think today we played agro football? Then the second question is, in the course of the game, within the first half, I realized that, I don't know whether it was a tactical approach, where your players were playing the game on the ball, and especially your fans, those your 7 and 11, without giving the ball to your number 9. Your striker was left alone. Your striker was more or less lost in the game. Was it a game plan? Because they were, whenever they get the ball, instead of them to look at him, they would rather bring it back, try to strain the passes from behind. Was it a game plan?
Yes, it's a game plan. When you watch our game, we normally overload opponents in the wide area. So if you watch the way we break through, we have two types of breakthroughs. When we come in from the back and get into the opponent box, we normally keep the ball wide. The reason is we want to stretch the opponent back line. So if you watch our first goal against Ivory Coast, we started the ball from the wide area, the ball came to the middle, and then we played a very deep pass to the 9. The 9 drops to pull the 2 center backs in. So even this game, you can see once in a while we see our 9 dropping because we realized they were doing man marking. So anytime you see the man 9 dropping, is dropping to create space behind. Of course, we have two fast wingers. If you have a team that you have 2 fast wingers, I think you have to utilize their strength. So for us, we wanted to break through the wide area. So that's the game plan that we put up.
And the agro football, did you see?
Yes. Today, like I said earlier on, compare the game against Ivory Coast. I think we were much better in terms of stringing passes together, in terms of keeping the ball in the tight area. You can see we make sure we lure them to one side and then play at least 2, 3, 5 passes before we switch play, especially in the second half. In the first half, sometimes in the first half, it's always difficult for one team to have control over the game. First 20 to 25 minutes, everyone has the power. So most game plans doesn't work. You have to fight, and gain control first. So in the first half always look unbalanced, but as the game progresses and you stick to the game plan and the opponent gets tired, then you can see something. I think second half we saw a little bit of the agro.
Coach, we saw the national under-20 team playing a lot of possessive football, grinding results as well. You showed up here, you also first playing possessive football and getting results at the same time. What would be your advice to the lesser national team coaches as the under-17 coach?
No, I can't sit here and advise anybody, but I believe.
Do you think they should play the same model to help in the transitioning process of?
Of course, that's why the FA have the DNA book, and we as national coaches, we've come together, we've spoken about it, we've talked about it. We have to do coaching clinic for everyone so that we all be aligned with whatever we are. Every national coach now have the DNA book, either in the soft copy or hard copy. Me, for instance, I have my beliefs before I came in. I'm more of a transition coach. I attack your box well, I defend my box well. But with the DNA of the FA, I've put in this abroad and all that. And we have sub principles and sub principles governing it. So for me, I think after this tournament is done, we are going to have a coaching clinic with a workshop, right? A workshop for all the coaches, which we've spoken about it. But some of the coaches are busy with their clubs, and at the moment I'm also busy with this tournament competition, so it will be difficult for me to attend it. But we've spoken about it. The directorate is aware, the FA is aware, and for me, I think Ghana is going to see a solid transition from U15s to the top, playing the same style.
Okay. Hi, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, as a young coach, I know that young coaches do normally have people they look up to. So let me just use Arteta and Pep. Everybody knows that Arteta's mentor is Pep. I would want to ask you that who do you look up to in terms of building your CV? And the second question is, the last time we tried qualifying, we lost out to Burkina Faso. What would it mean to you to guide this team and qualify them to the next AFCON?
It will be amazing. Since 2017, Ghanaians have not seen our youth team that previously we enjoyed most from 91, 93, 95, 97, 99, 2001, that we lost this team. So if we are able to qualify this team, I think it's amazing. For me, I will be much happy than anything else in the world, because I know Ghanaians are craving for this. I know Ghanaians have worked so hard. They put a lot of things in place for us to get there, but it's been very difficult because other countries are also developing. But I think we are in the right direction. We're taking it a day at a time, and now we are in the semis. Anything that they put in front of us, myself and my technical team will sit down and have a game plan against them. I believe it's on Saturday. We will be ready to face any opponent that comes to us.
The first question, please.
Say that again.
I mean, who you look up to?
Yeah. You see, it's always good for someone to look up to someone. You see, but for me, I look at it as who inspires me. You see, I look at it in this way, who inspires me. But I always want to be myself as much as I can. I always want to be myself because I learned something in coaching education. Previously, someone can say, "Oh, I want to be like Mourinho." What happens when Pep Guardiola came in? What happens when Klopp came in? So you can have inspiration from not one coach, different coaches, but you have to be yourself. You have to be you. You have to have your coaching trait, because if tomorrow Pep doesn't perform the same way, I don't think any coach will say, "Oh, I want to be like Pep Guardiola." You have to be yourself and get inspiration from other coaches.
All right, final two questions. Gentlemen, coach, we saw the performance of Abdullah
Note that came from the bench. It was only Abdullah Note that came from the bench. The reason why we put Abdullah out is we want to have this final 20 minutes like this. You know, in the last 25 minutes, we went with the back three, and then if I'm playing with the back three, I always need two holding midfielders that can be close to each other. So it's a game plan, putting him on the bench because Ofori have fresh legs. He has to start the game and Abdullah have to come. You can see when the two came in, they are two holding, they stabilize the middle. You see, so it's about game plan, the way we want to approach it. We knew after 70 minutes we will go to 3-4-3, and we need two holding players.
Final question, gentlemen. Yes.
Hello, coach. You talked about your system. My question is on that. The second half, you played a three-back system with your wing backs still maintaining them in as much as you made some substitutions. One player that caught my attention is your right back. I believe he was one of the great players, even when we were playing the 4-back and at the same time the 3-back. Because most cases, when coaches play 3-back, you need a wing back who can be offensive. But he kept his own, managed to defend very well and even attack very well when you were playing the 3-back, and you expected your wing back to move forward. How important is he in your team, especially in a country where I don't want to say struggle, but a country where we've not had right backs in consistent times who can progress the ball very well and also defend very well?
Yeah, because we were very particular in choosing players in their positions. If you look at the recruitment we did, I can tell you today, my right back and my left back, they are all midfielders. Yes. But they are young. Sometimes you start as a young player, you think you are number 10, but you finish at goalkeeper. You see, so and the reason why we decide that is we want to have players that are comfortable with the ball. You can see my wing backs, the Prince Amwa guy that came later part is also very good. He's also a midfielder. And his stronger foot is his right, not left. But he can use his right, we encourage him to use his left foot, and now you can see him develop much better. Bilal, also a midfielder. We put him as a right back because we know that he's comfortable, he can go back and defend, and then when he's supporting attack, in the attacking balance, he's solid as well. So one thing we should know is these are kids, and we're developing them to the top. So we need to move them in positions, different positions for them to be able to play, not using one position, they can play 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. Defensively, it depends on how the opponent came. There were 3 strikers. That's why I'm restricting, especially when we are off the ball, we should go and find the line so that we have 5 at the back and then 2 in front of them.
Thank you very much, Coach Laryea, and I hope the journalists have had a lot